and osteon. So compact bone is simply these groupings, side by side, by side, by side, by side, by side, by side, running the entire length of the bone.
Is spongy bone always going to be in the capsule of bones?
For the most part,
Okay.
yes.
And the compact bone will always be in the epiphysis, right?
Yes. After the full growth has been reached, and there's no longer any growth occurring. So you will find the hardened compact bone surrounding the spongy bone. I'm not sure if you picked up in the video, but it talked about it helps to make bones lightweight. Because if the bone was compact all the way through, you think about all the bones of our body, if they were compact all the way through, you'd weigh about 400 pounds just in bone, and it would be impossible for the muscles to move that. So, we'll get more into bone in the future chapters. The fluid connective tissue that they mentioned, which is blood. The matrix is plasma. Blood does not contain fibers. Think about that. If it did, it would get stuck everywhere. So it does not contain any fibers. The matrix is going to contain stuff like ions and salts and all the goody nutrient stuff. The goal is to make sure it can move through the vessels. What is a formed element in our blood, meaning that it's the actual part being present, is a red blood cell, a white blood cell, and a platelet. They exist in their form, therefore the formed element. The tissue is termed hemopoietic, heme referring to blood. The tissue is going to be red bone marrow that gives rise to these elements, the red blood cells, white blood cells, and the platelets. Yellow marrow is fat cell based. It's usually what takes over mostly as an adult. Because as an adult, we will find that there are less bones of the body producing the blood cells. We don't need it. Okay, children do. All the bone marrow of children is red until they finish growing. So it's a connective fluid tissue. The goal, create those formed elements. The red bone marrow gives rise to those red and white cells. Platelets are just simply broken pieces of a cell, which you'll get to in part 2. And like I said, it's for children. Almost all of their bone marrow is red because children are constantly growing and changing. So they need those nutrients, the materials that it can provide. Usually if a child tells you, they're hungry, this is usually the reason why, because their body's so busy growing. All right, I'm not going to start muscle tissue today. We're going to get into that. But you're going to look some more at lab 5 for today, lab 6.